Well, hello there, Internet. This is Chris, and no Pokemon video today, so instead you get a review, I guess, is what this is. Sorry if I seem a little grumpy or surlier than I normally am. Just a hard, long, hot day at work, and I'm really bushed, which is partially the reason why I'm not recording on Pokemon right now. I honestly don't feel like grinding any, and I'm just fatigued. So this weekend, my friends and I went to go see The Dark Knight Rises on Sunday, which is probably the earliest we've gone to see a movie. We don't usually watch movies opening weekend. We usually wait a couple weeks. Before I start into the review proper, kind of have to preface this by saying that it's really hard to talk about The Dark Knight Rises without at least acknowledging what happened in Aurora. Especially when I both live in the state that it happened in. I'm, a Coloradian, live in southern Colorado. I've been by the theater that it happened at. And also, I know someone who was shot there. My little brother Bowles, and one of the people who was injured, Bowles with my brother. I don't know him real well, but he's always been good to my brother, and that goes a long way with me. He's okay. From last we heard, he was still in the hospital, but he's going to be okay. So that's great. That's great news. Too many people lost their lives in that and got injured. But when something like that happens, and you want to talk about the movie, what do you do? Do you not talk about it at all? Do you just kind of mention it and leave well wishes, empty as they might be, or as well-meaning as they might be? Do you just pay it lip service? What do you do? And I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. It's hard to talk about. It's hard to think about. And what do you do? So my wishes are with everyone who's injured with that. Everyone who knows somebody who was injured or killed. You just wish the best for them. There's nothing else you can do. I mean, there's no way you couldn't. I had this whole thing planned out in my head what I was going to say, and I was just totally gone. So yeah, I'll just leave that at that. There's nothing else you can really say. So onto the movie itself, because that's the big thing. What did I think of The Dark Knight Rises? Before you can talk about the third movie in the series, you have to talk about the other two, of course. And I'm still on my bed again, so you're gonna see a lot of shaky cam. Sorry about that. You have to talk about the first two movies in the series. Batman Begins, I didn't see when it came out. It took me a little bit to see that one. In fact, if memory serves, I don't think I saw it until right before The Dark Knight came out. That sounds about right. Yeah, I was still working over at AT&T when that happened, and that was miserable. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The Batman Begins, I was kind of cold on. There were a lot of I liked it, but it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't as good as the original, the Tim Burton Batman. I didn't think. I liked it. I did like it a lot, and I really liked their take on Scarecrow. But Ra's al Ghul's never really been one of my favorite Batman villains. So they did him okay. I mean, they did him okay, but I like that they almost took the supernatural element away from him, but kind of left it in a little bit. I like the more realistic take on him. But I really like how they did Scarecrow in that, and I wish they would have focused more on Scarecrow. That's just my opinion, though. I'm I'm in the minority on that one. But I still did like the movie. The Dark Knight, I loved. I absolutely adored that movie. And the weird thing was, I never saw it in a theater. The first time I actually saw it was when we went to a drive-in to see it. It was a double feature with Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the animated 3D movie, which is kind of a weird double feature. But we saw it at a drive-in, and that was a lot of fun. And it's such a great movie. I mean, I absolutely love The Dark Knight. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to do a comic book movie, that's pretty much flawless. The ending is a little, yeah, but I mean, it's still really good. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. It is my favorite comic book movie, even above the Avengers, which I also really liked. It's basically the perfect comic book movie as far as I'm concerned. But I'm a mark for Nolan movies. I really am. I've liked pretty much everything he's done as far as I can remember. Memento, Inception, Dark Knight trilogy, The Prestige. I like them all. So, being kind of cold on the first movie, but still liking it and absolutely loving the second one. Where does that leave you going into the third movie and into The Dark Knight Rises? And I'm going to try and avoid as many spoilers as I can for this. But if I do spoil anything, I'll try and put a warning in front of it so you can, plug your ears or turn off the video or whatever. But if, watch out because spoilers might happen. I don't know. What did I think of The Dark Knight Rises? I did like it. I did. And it's kind of weird to be watching people like Doug Walker and Brad Jones and hear them just absolutely hate the movie. Just totally hate the movie. I liked it. I really did. Did I like it as much as The Dark Knight? No. No, it wasn't nearly as good as The Dark Knight. But that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Those are some damn big shoes to fill. Like I said, Dark Knight to me is pretty much the perfect comic book movie. And to not be The Dark Knight but still be good is that's an accomplishment right there. You're not going to be able to remake The Dark Knight. If they had just done the same movie again basically but with different villains, it wouldn't have been that good. I loved how they did Bane. I really did. His voice was jarring when I first heard it because I wasn't expecting that type of voice to come out of him. And I've heard a lot of people have problems understanding him in the movie. I didn't. I didn't. I had no problems with that. Oh, my leg. Yeah, I had no problems understanding him. He was a bit loud. They had to amplify his voice a bit because otherwise he would sound like this. And they really wanted to get that booming effect on him. So, that was okay. I didn't have any problems with that. I really like that they made him a more human monster, and that they didn't really do the Venom thing. The closest they got was a little bit involving his mask, but even that was just kind of ancillary, I guess. Although, speaking of things that are ancillary, that's my biggest problem with the movie, and it is kind of a big one. I did not like Catwoman in this movie. I thought Anne Hathaway did great with what she was given. It's just there was absolutely no reason for her to be in this movie. There really wasn't. The only reason that there was a Catwoman in this movie is because, it's Batman, you have to have Catwoman eventually. They did the same thing with, and here's spoiler at this point, kind of, but it's a dumb spoiler, and you'll see it coming, and when it happens, you'll be pissed off. They do kind of have Robin in the movie, kind of, with the Detective Blake, and that was a groan-worthy moment. It really was. That was just absolutely terrible. It was Ooh, that was bad. Hey! My screensaver tried to turn on in the middle of recording. I hope they didn't mess anything up. Stupid computer. Which does mean I've gone over 10 minutes now. Woo! But Catwoman was completely unnecessary to the plot. She really was. They have her at the beginning where she's doing. She's a kind of. The way they use her in this is she's a cat burglar, but she's also kind of a spy informant type person. And it really could have been anyone. It didn't have to be Catwoman. And in fact, not making it Catwoman would have made the movie stronger. She didn't need to be in this movie. She was completely unnecessary in every way. Which was really distracting, I thought. And the fact that they just made it made Batman or Bruce Wayne, or whichever side you want to look at there, look like completely ridiculous for trusting her as much as he did, considering they'd never brought her in before. If they would have brought her in back in the first or the second movie as just Selina Kyle, and then introduced her in this one as Catwoman, so that they had one or two movies to build up some trust and some issues, that would have been different. That would have been okay. I would have been fine with that. But the way they did it was just kind of lackluster, I guess, for as good as most of the movie was. Like I said, it's not perfect. The movie does have a lot of problems, but that doesn't make it a bad movie. Then again, I am one of the guys who enjoyed Prometheus, so that probably means that my opinion is completely invalid to most people. So whatever. So liked Bane, Catwoman was unnecessary, and Batman. Another one of the big problems in this movie was that Batman's not in it that much. It's a good, I want to say, half hour, maybe a little more into the movie before you actually see Batman. And he's really not in the movie that much, which is weird for a Batman movie. I know they were trying to build up his reappearance as this great monumental moment, and when it happened, it really was. It was a cool moment. But, yeah, not much Batman in this movie compared to the other two. And the way Bruce Wayne starts out in this movie, he's kind of crippled, I guess, and he's walking with a cane, and he's all barely walking along. He walks like I do some days. And goes to the doctor, and he apparently doesn't have cartilage in his knee anymore. He's got a gammy knee, I guess. And did I miss something in the other movies? I don't remember that being brought up before. I mean, I could have missed something, but that was kind of weird. I mean, I could have understand if they wanted. I thought he was faking it myself. I thought he was faking the injury, so that nobody would suspect him as Batman. But apparently, Batman hasn't been seen in like 8 years at the start of this movie. So that's kind of weird. It was really weird the way they did that. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of odd. So that was weird. So kind of knocking that around, I've been down on the movie quite a bit. What did I like about it? Why am I saying this is a good movie when it seems I've been kind of down on it in a lot of places? For one thing, one of my favorite arcs in the Batman comics is the Nightfall arc, where Bane breaks Batman's back. He has to recover from it, and he hires a new Batman, Azrael, to be the new Batman. And it's a really cool arc with Batman, clawing himself back up from having that bust his injury, taking back his mantle, and all that. And they do that arc kind of in the movie. I'm going into major spoiler territory here, so if you haven't seen the movie, stop now, please. Go see the movie. That's my recommendation. Go see the movie, but stop now because I'm going to go into heavy spoiler territory. They do the Nightfall saga in a way. I mean, you get the whole scene with Bane picking Batman up and going kapow over his knee, which is basically the only scene you need in this movie. Like, if they hadn't done that, I would have been disappointed about it. It's kind of like doing Green Goblin and Spider-Man and having him not throw somebody off a bridge and having Spider-Man have to save him. They did the backbreak scene. And it was done pretty good. It was done really good. And then Bane drops Batman off in this prison in a Middle Eastern country where he was raised, which changes it a bit from the comics, because in the comics the prison was in basically like a Cuba XP, or something like that. Little island nation with a terrible prison on it. And Bane's mom was locked up for, if I'm not mistaken, crimes his father committed, but the father left the country, so the mom was put in jail and had the baby, who was Bane. Baby's raised in a prison, becomes like top dog in the prison, and breaks out, goes to Gotham to challenge Batman, all that fun stuff. I'm talking about the comics. I don't know why. Yeah, it may surprise you to look at me, the tubby glasses balding guy, reads a lot of comics. I know, it's crazy, but that's how it goes. But yeah, Nightfall was one of my favorite sagas, and they do it justice in the movie. One thing I wasn't expecting, though, and this was pretty cool, is they also do a homage to No Man's Land, which is got kind of a... Oh, this is going to be awesome. This is pleasant. Me picking a crap in my mouth. I got like a fever blister inside my mouth from being sick. But they do No Man's Land in a way. And No Man's Land is the arc where a huge earthquake hits Gotham City, on top of all the other crap that usually goes on in Gotham City with plagues and all that fun stuff. That results in Gotham being sort of forced out of America until they can get their shit together. All the bridges to Gotham are destroyed, the tunnels are blocked, no one goes in or out. That kind of happens in this movie, where Bane basically institutes No Man's Land. All the bridges are blown out, the tunnels blocked. It's anarchy inside the city. One of the, that's pretty cool. My brain is gone at this point. I'm gonna fucking ramble. I am so tired. One of the really kind of interesting things is Bane's overall plan in this one, because they link him into the what the hell is it called? Raja Ghul's the Society of Shadows. League of Shadows. I kept wanting to call him the Guild of Calamitous Intent. That's not right. Yeah, the League of Shadows. And Bane was apparently a member of that, but was kicked out for being too radical for that society. That's gonna, that's impressive. He was kicked out. Basically, what they do is they take the Joker's philosophy from the second movie, the whole there should be no order to the system. The system is gone, there's no need for the system. Basic socialism and just run amok, basically. Everyone's equal, which means no one's equal. And they give that philosophy to someone with Ra's al Ghul's philosophy, which is that the system needs to be wiped out and replaced with my system, because I know what's going on. I'm the smart guy. We know what we're doing. We are going to replace the system with one that works and bring everyone back to our thinking. And when you combine those two philosophies, you get Bane, who is terrifying in this movie. He's absolutely terrifying. His plan is that he doesn't have a plan, just like the Joker didn't. He knows what he wants, and that is to show that this city, the Gotham City, is, even while it's healing from Harvey Dent, can still be corrupted and destroyed very easily. And he wants to turn other people to his way of thinking. He's going to destroy it all in the end. And that's where not having a plan comes in, is that he plans on going down with the ship. He just wants to show that, or basically be the spark that ignites this all over the world and just creates nothingness. He's nihilism incarnate, basically. And he's terrifying. He's a very intimidating character in this movie, and it works very well. Bane has always been a more intelligent villain than people give him credit for. I mean, when you think of Bane, if you don't read the comics, you think of the guy from Batman and Robin. You know, the big grunting idiot in the inflatable suit. And that's not how Bane is at all. That's one of a lot of people's... Well, there was a lot of problems with Batman and Robin. But that's one of the bigger ones, is that they totally fucked up Bane. In every way. It's different from in the comics, where he is basically just a mercenary, and he puts himself against Batman as like the ultimate challenge to himself. Where he's beaten everyone else he's come across. The only thing he fears is, or could possibly fear, is the Batman. So he goes to challenge the Batman, takes over his city, takes it from Batman, and breaks him. Same thing happens here, basically. He draws Batman out of retirement and breaks him. Just to prove that everything in this city, in every city, is just temporary. That it can be gone like that. And that's a scary thought. That really is. So I've rambled for almost half an hour now. For 22 minutes. So what else do I want to talk about? The trailers real quick, because we did see quite a few. There were quite a few trailers in front of this one. And I guess they're different than the ones that they had at the midnight showings. The big ones that we saw were The Hobbit, which is the same trailer we've seen before, which still looks just great. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved The Hobbit more than I liked Lord of the Rings, although I like both of them. So this is going to be a good movie. This is going to be a really good movie. Although it's going to be interesting to see if they have all of the songs in there. They show a clip from Over the Misty Mountains, which is great. And it looks like they're doing the plate smashing song. That's what Bilbo Baggins hates. And so it's going to be interesting to see if they do all of the songs. Because if so, this is going to be a musical. And that's kind of cool. And the other big one that we had was one I hadn't seen before, and that was The Man of Steel, Christopher Nolan's take on Superman. And I'm excited for that, which is interesting because I don't like Superman that much. Superman's always been kind of a boring character to me. He's just not that interesting to me. I liked the first couple of Christopher Reeve movies. Still haven't even seen Superman Returns, and I don't think I will, just because it doesn't interest me that much. The cartoon was okay. The live-action TV show was okay. I didn't like Smallville. And I never really read the Superman comics that much. Read a few of them, but I was always much more into for DC, Batman and Green Lantern. So Superman was just kind of a character I didn't find that interesting and never really have. So for me to actually be excited about this upcoming Superman movie is really great. I mean, that trailer is phenomenal. It really is. It is a great damn trailer, with the little kid in the cape, and then Superman flying up with the sonic boom. It's really cool. Very, very provocative imagery. Worked very well. If Nolan can do for Superman what he did in the first two Dark Knight movies, since this is apparently the Dark Knight trilogy, it'll be really good. It'll be really good. I've heard rumors that it's going to tie into a new Justice League movie, or not a new, but a Justice League movie. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I honestly can't see it working for a couple reasons. For one thing, if I'm not mistaken, they're relaunching Batman after this. Again, although they really set the ending up very good for like a Nightwing movie or something like that. That'd be cool. And Green Lantern fucking bombed. That movie was shit. I mean, I like Green Lantern a lot. Don't like Ryan Reynolds that much. And that movie really bombed. That was a terrible, terrible fucking movie. And also, another thing is that Marvel's already done this thing with the Avengers, where they had all their character movies and then brought them together for the Avengers. And it worked really well. I can't see that working very well for DC's characters. Not only because they keep relaunching them, but also, you have the Green Lantern bomb. There hasn't been a Wonder Woman movie, and I can't see that working very well right now. I'd heard that they were going to try and do another Wonder Woman TV series, but that was back in early to mid-aughts, and that hasn't happened yet. So I don't see that happening. And what are they going to do for a Justice League movie? Just have Superman, maybe Batman, or Nightwing, or whatever they're going to do, and Green Lantern? I can't see that working very well. What other trailers did we have? We had that new Tom Cruise movie that I can't even remember the name of it. Something Catcher or something, I can't even remember. It looked as generic of a Tom Cruise movie as I have ever seen. And I'm kind of a Tom Cruise apologist. I like watching his fun movies, like Mission Impossible 1, Top Gun, gayest movie of the 80s, I love it. Days of Thunder is hilarious. He's a lot like Nick Cage for me, in that his good movies are... God damn it, quit going to the screensaver, you asshole. His good movies are hilarious to watch, and his bad movies are agonizing. This one looks like it's going to be on the agonizing scale. They had Total Recall. And that was really the first time I'd seen a trailer for that, because I've been avoiding it like the plague. I didn't really care for the original Total Recall that much. It's one of those movies that's okay for me. I know a lot of people really have an affinity for it, or at least for the three-breasted hooker. I don't. It's not one of my favorite Schwarzenegger movies. It's not one of my favorite sci-fi movies. Yeah. It's not even my favorite Philip K. Dick movie, because Blade Runner. Blade Runner's great. So I wasn't interested in this remake, like, at all. And judging from the trailer, I had the right impression. I may have even been a little too lenient on it. It looks like a big CGI mess, is what it looks like. Nothing is real in it. Some of the action looks like it could be okay, I guess. I don't know. I'm probably not going to see it. If I see it, it'll be probably like I see most things as a riff tracks when it comes out on video. So, yeah, it looked abysmal. We had The Expendables 2, the same trailer that I've seen for that in a bunch of different movies now. And I'm kind of excited for that because I like the original one. It was a lot of fun. And it'll be good to see Van Damme, strap on the boots again. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters or not. Because like I said, I don't go see many movies. Although I think we're going to go see another one next week, actually. So yeah, I'll probably see it when it comes out on video, maybe. I doubt if I go see it in the theater. What else was there? Oh, there was that Will Ferrell thing. The Campaign, I think it's called. Wow, that looked like a piece of shit. That looked like a shit. Wow, that was bad. I think that's what it's called, the Campaign. My God. That was one of the most unfunny pieces of shit I've seen since the MacGruber trailer. And that one was bad. But, the only joy I had from watching that trailer was Will Ferrell punching a baby. That was kind of funny. If they could have the entire, 90-minute movie be Will Ferrell punching a baby over and over and over again, I'd be down for that. That would be a cool movie. So that was the trailers we had. Final word on Dark Knight Rises. Not as good as The Dark Knight. It's really not. But that's not a crime, because Dark Knight is fucking amazing. It's still a really good Batman movie, if you don't mind that Batman's not in it as much as he should be. If that makes any sense. It's a Batman movie, but Batman's only in it for a little bit. I don't know. It could have been much, much better. It really could have. I mean, it could have been on par, maybe. Well, not on par, but, right beneath Dark Knight. It really could have. The performances from Bane and Bale. I can't remember the guy who plays Bane's name because I am sleepy right now. But Bale was just great when he was on, and Bane was fantastic. I mean, I talked way too much about Bane. He was easily the best part of this movie. So yeah, I liked it a lot. I don't know how it's doing in the theaters right now. I mean, I imagine it's kicking ass. There's no way it's gonna bomb. But, because of what happened in Aurora, I guess theaters aren't releasing records for last week, is what I heard. It's gonna be kind of interesting. We really expected the theater to be completely packed when we went in. I mean, we got there like an hour and 15 minutes early, and we were the only ones there. And an hour rolled by, and we were the only ones there, I think. There was like a couple way down in front, and then our group of 5 people. And that was it. But then, right before the movie started, right before the trailer started, people started coming in. It wasn't a packed house at all. I'd say it was about 3/4 full, which isn't what I expected. I expected wall-to-wall people. It wasn't. I mean, I had a few seats on either side, on my left side, seat between me and Matt where we put our popcorn. Matt's wife sat next to him. There were seats next to her. We had a couple friends sitting in front of us. They had seats around them. Not a packed house. You can't really blame people for not wanting to go. Either out of respect of what happened, or even worse out of fear of what happened. I don't like letting my fears control me like that. And I wasn't really, afraid that I was going to go and get shot or anything like that. But, especially living in Colorado right now, that's one of the things you think about is, well, what happened? One of my coworkers apparently went Saturday night to a midnight show, I guess it was, and they had a security guard outside, making sure that people didn't get unruly, and like making sure that nobody in costume got in and things like that. Although I don't think we had anybody in costume try to get in, like, at all. My parents went to Brave last week, and it was weird. My parents went to Brave the night of the shooting, and I talked to them the next day. It's like, hey, how'd you like the movie? Wasn't it great? And they said, yeah, it was great. Did you hear about what happened in Aurora? I was like, no, something happened in Aurora? What's going on? And then they told me about what happened, and how many people were lined up to see Batman at our theater. And it was apparently a ton of people. I wasn't there, but apparently a ton of people showed up. None of them in costume, so I don't know. I'm rambling again. I'm going to stop this here before I go on any further. I like The Dark Knight Rises. Some people don't. Some people really, really hate the movie. I didn't. I'm not as good as Dark Knight. Still very good movie. So, yeah, this is Chris signing off. Cry of Fear tomorrow. Hopefully Pokemon on Thursday. If not, I'll do something else. I don't know. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna fucking fall asleep.